My bad. I'm not paying attention. So, you know it's me, Rob, and we're on the content and silo course, and this is video something. We're talking now about the written content, video 5, okay? Now, I do have a content writing course already, other videos. And so a lot of what I'm telling you is covered elsewhere, same as I have a keyword course. So I'm trying to keep this straightforward and simple without going on, but at the same time giving you enough content in the course, enough detail so that you can not necessarily, so you don't need to go and watch the others. So let's talk about, remember there's written content on a thing, there's video content, there's images, there's audio, there's things like infographics, but written content is the core part of what you need to get Google's attention. Okay, so you need to know that. So we've covered content styles. That means your writing style, right? And content types was core pages, long tail pages, whatever they all are. So I'm not going to go into all of that. Length of content I did briefly cover in the previous video, but it works this way. If there's a lot of searches for that keyword, 10, 20,000 searches a month, 200,000, whatever, try not to go to those. You need to make those as many as 2 or 3 or 4 or 5,000 words. In other words, the more searches, the longer your content needs to be, because you are competing against bigger and other places. That's the general rule. So length of content for a normal page with 2,000, you can do 500, 800 words. For a long tail keyword, you shouldn't go down less than 250 words. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea. Same other length of content. If you've got a page with 1,000 words, you should have at least one video and two images to go with that. In fact, a 500 word page, again, an image and a video. A little post of 250 words, you can either have a video or an image and get away with that. So, and then proportionately 6,000 words, 10, 12 images, 3 or 4 videos maybe. So know that it's related, but to tell you at the same time, and again I've spoken about this before, but I'll repeat, and it's worth it. When you've got a keyword that you're competing for, you do need to then go and do research to see what the top 10 guys are doing, how many words on their page, how many backlinks they got, and try to mimic what they've done. Because if they've got to page 1 with that, you can too. Okay, so that's your written content. This is cool. Simple. Do the best grammar possible and do spelling. I use Grammarly and I use every other kind of spell check, and I still have a huge amount of mess ups on my site. Sorry about that. I thank goodness hope that you see right past it. If you are part of the grammar police, the grammar Nazi, whoa, you probably won't be able to survive on my site because of how slack I am with this. My bad. I'd like to say, okay, I do care, but not enough to actually go and find every single spelling mistake. Send me a list. And yeah. Right. You can write your content yourself, or you can outsource it. Take care. It's very, 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 very dangerous. But at the same time, all the big guys do. So, I keep seeing posts from the big boys where they say, I found this gem of a writer in the Philippines, and she's only, whatever the figure was, 6, whatever, 1,000, let me just think, 1,000, 800 or $1,000 a month, and it's like, whoa, in fact, even less, I think. So you can use outsourced writers or creators of any form for your content, your videos, whatever. And if you do research into this, I'm not going to go into this in detail here. It's far too complicated. But there are good ways. I'm doing this one. In fact, I reached out to a really, really good blogger today, and you will be seeing her on my website. So we'll keep a lookout for her. She's going to cover probably a variety of topics. I don't want to say which yet. But now she becomes my featured author. She's an expert on that. And because she's successful at it, it's safe to use her as an expert because she's earning a living from her blogging. And therefore, it's cool for me too. So you can you can do the same for content. It's a very cool way. Let's go back to this camping example. So you've got this camping affiliate site. So now what you do is you find a guy who's got a very, very powerful something. Doesn't matter. Maybe he's got a shop, or it doesn't matter. But he's a blogger on I don't know, campsites, hiking. So he becomes your hiking expert, and he blogs about hikes that he's done, and he gets exposure, or he gets feel good, or he gets links. You would negotiate with them as to what you want, or he's created a few courses. That's a paid thing, or you know whatever, and then he needs the exposure which you will bring to him, and you get the content from him. Everybody's a winner. Right, scheduled, I spoke about, it's dangerous, but you do need to know that it's needed, especially with the fibromyalgia end of what we do, right? So always make sure your content is well written, readable, it's good, it works, it's got to. Oh, I haven't covered this in here, but, sorry, my bad, but people are stupid these days, let's be honest. People are stupid and bone lazy. They've been dumbing themselves down through laziness, where they don't even bother to learn things anymore because, well, they don't need to. They've got all the tools on their phone, on their laptops, and they just have to look up and shout, guys, when is, and somebody will give them an answer in a second. So the point is that they don't want to read 6,000 words. I get that. So sorry, if you've been listening to me saying, sometimes you got to write 6,000 words, Google wants to see the 6,000 words. I understand you can't expect the public to wade through all of that. No. So you've got to, at the top of your page, you've got to give them ways to click out. I'll say very quickly, in a minute or two of reading, they've got to get the gist of what you're saying and found the link out routes, the buy now buttons or whatever you put in there, lots of them that they've gone to where you're sitting them. You're just a sieve. That is just a sieve that you're catching them in that page, that you're then going to use a different shoot, slide, a click, a button, a thing, an outlet to send them off your page. Your page also, to keep them interested for those 60 seconds, needs to have headlines, bullet points, short sentences, short paragraphs, everything to allow for the fact that people cannot want to hang around. They just don't. They don't want to read a long sentence. They want a short version. So sorry about that. Same as you don't want to watch long videos, and mine are long. But I can't. I have to show you everything twice and 3 times and 10 times. But full advice, if you make videos, make 3-minute videos, and you will be far better off. None of these 8 minutes that I'm on to now. But yeah, so with scheduling, make it well written no matter what you've done. So now scheduling, make sure that it's shared and worked to keep your site alive when if you're not doing the actual social media work, etc., that comes with publishing whenever you do it. So if you outsource it, that's cool. If it's your own work, it's cool. Hand spinning, I think, is really beautiful if done right. You can hand spin your content to where you've got hundreds of pages. So you work pretty hard. Let's say every day you use hand spin a full page. We're talking 4 or 5 hours work. But you hand spin a single beautiful page of 1,000 words, for example, into 200 pages. And you do that every day for a week. And at the end of 5 days, you've got 5, better 10 days. 10 working days, you will then have 2,000 pages that you can schedule and retitle and reword almost. Kind of, if you're going to do that, by the way, I highly recommend you doing it with local search. Don't do it, obviously, on any core content. It's got to be when you want to put out a different version of the top 10 plumbers in Brantford, and then the next week, who are the most popular, what makes a reliable plumber, and it doesn't matter, the content's so similar, but people, because they don't want to read it, they just want to find the page and look for a reliable plumber. You get where I'm going, is they don't really want the words. They want Google to give them the page that they look at and trust and click or phone. Done. Okay, so other authors for content. Okay, so I suggest you always write your own content. Sometimes you can't. It's fine. So be careful of finding outsourced people. It'll work. You can curate content. If you look at any of the big, huge websites, I can't think of that one right now. What the hell is it called? Huffington Post is what it's called. They don't publish their own content anymore. They give an introduction and they refer to this article and that article. And when you look again, they've published a paragraph or an opening sentence of each person's content, compiled it into a curated page and published it, and it works. In my opinion, it's just as hard. I've bought and paid for and done curated content courses, and I find that to find decent curated content that you can add to your page, by then, you know what, I could have written out the whole page. So that's my opinion. Other authors, experts. Yeah, like I just said, I've got a featured post coming from my experts. I just freaking love it that I can hook up a person that's a blogging expert and get them, if I can, please, if you can. It's not easy. I had visions once of setting up this whole blog with 20 experts, and I think I eventually got 2 and it petered out after a while. So, but let me tell you, it works. It's in popular subjects. So homesteading, off-grid living, those kind of things. It's easy to find experts that want to have their say, because an expert is an expert, but sometimes they just want to they just can't help themselves. They want to tell everybody, look at me. So those are the cool experts, because they want to still be heard. Whereas a real expert, because he's a doctor and he's going to come and talk about fibromyalgia, no, he's not. He's too busy. Paid authors. Oh, be careful. Don't buy your content like that. RSS feeds is okay, but it's a bit like curation. You've got to really keep an eye on what's coming in. Time and again, I keep hearing people say, "Oh, I used RSS feeds. I bought." Look, don't tell me I bought 2 things last week. Paid for them. I haven't had time to set them up. Where it claims that it'll populate your travel. One of them's a travel, the other's a news website. It will literally. It's called auto blogging, where it'll literally find and publish everything without me doing any of the work. I totally don't believe it, and I still paid whatever I paid, $50 each for that. It is what it is, okay, because I can't help testing it. That's it. So written content, I'll get onto the video content on the next one. I'll catch you there. Cheers.